Imagine a heated argument where you were determined to prove that you were right, only to realize that later it cost you a relationship or a missed opportunity. Why does being right feel so important in today's world? Hey everyone, I'm Crypto Billy. You're watching Billy Go Tales and our motivational mindset series. We're going to get into this today and explore why it's more important, honorable, and profitable to not always need to be right. Needing to always be right reflects insecurity and pride in you, while letting go fosters growth, respect, and success. This mindset, always needing to be right, it affects personal relationships, workplace relationships, and I would argue self-development. So today, we're going to explore what the need to be right reveals about character, why it's problematic, and why embracing humility is more honorable and profitable in your life. So let's get into this. What does needing to be right say about your character? I would say needing to be right is just an intense desire to prove your perspective, to prove that your perspective is correct, often at the expense of others' feelings and or their collaboration. It also shows some insecurity. The fear of being wrong signals a fragile self-image. Needing to be right, it creates insecurity because it's a fear of being wrong. And the fear of being wrong signals a fragile self-image. Your self-worth isn't going to be defined by if you're right or wrong. Needing to be right also, it intertwines with your pride and ego, right? Because it suggests prioritizing ego over truth or over connection, personal connection. And I think it touches somewhat of control. It reflects a need to dominate conversations or situations, dismissing others' views. You can be really cold because you're trying to be right. You can be dismissive because you're trying to be right. Why do you need to be right all the time? I would say there's going to be more personal connection and relationships built by active listening. And it's okay if you leave the conversation still feeling that your perspective and opinion is right, but you don't have to always verbalize that. Let it go. It's okay. In the workplace, you see this like with a manager who just insists that their strategy is the best, ignoring all team input. That just stifles innovation. If you are a person that always feels you need to be right, there's a cost for that. And it's costing you. It's not costing the people you're talking to. Constantly defending your, quote, rightness, it creates stress, defensiveness, and it will ultimately create isolation. There's a rational cost as well. Others may just start avoiding you, seeing you as arrogant or unapproachable. Who wants that? Understanding this type of mindset shows why clinging to be right can harm us more than it can help us. That's why needing to always be right is very problematic. It creates barriers. Refusing to be wrong prevents learning from mistakes or from gaining new perspective. You cherry pick evidence to support your view, ignoring contradictory facts. That's not good. Trying to always control the setup so that you can get to the conclusion that you want. Educated people, they see what you're doing. They know what you're doing. In this day and age of social media, where we see all these advertisements and we know what they're doing. We know what these subliminal messages are doing. We get the game. Today, most people get the game. In the political world, we know what the pundits are doing. On the mainstream media channels, we know they're biased. We know what they're doing. What are we all doing? We're all shutting them off. Do you want to be shut off because you are trying to control the situation? You are trying to frame it your way? You have a need to be right at the expense of friendships and collaboration? We see this in politics, and we all know what's going on. Someone arguing politics who ignores valid counterpoints, missing a chance to refine and reflect on their own views because they have to be right. Guys, this can damage relationships. Insisting on being right alienates friends, family members, colleagues, and it can erode trust. In workplaces, it hinders teamwork and innovation, and it's going to reduce profitability. Like, for example, a business leader who rejects any type of feedback loses his market edge. Who does he lose them to? His competitors. His competitors that have a team of people that aren't just focusing on trying to always be right, but focusing on the competitive edge, creating a unique selling proposition. The high stakes of needing to be right is something you should look inward at and you should reflect on. Because in this day and age of social media and influencers, it could destroy you. You could still be growing your business and still be making money, but you're alienating so many other people. There's a cost, there's a sacrifice for it, especially in the inner relationships. So if you have a great big community, okay, you probably don't care. There's going to be more numbers coming in, right? But in the end, when you're all said and done with your career, you have foregone many, many other opportunities and other great relationships with great people at the sacrifice of needing to be right all the time. Admitting that you might be wrong shows strength and respect for others' perspectives. Valuing truth over ego earns trust and admiration, not the other way around. If we think of like a scientist who revises a theory based on new evidence, he gains credibility, not shame. And also collaboration, right? Openness to others, other people's ideas. It fosters teamwork. It fosters relationship. It leads to better results. It leads to innovative ideas and products and services. Embracing mistakes as learning opportunities drives personal and professional success. And relative to relationships, listening and compromising builds stronger networks. It opens doors for other opportunities. And if you think about this in the workplace, like this, think of a salesperson who listens to a client, actively listens to a client's feedback rather than defending their pitch. That guy closes more deals. It's not about being right. It's about connection, and it's about being humble enough to not have to argue that point. That's character. That is character. Letting go of being right transforms how others see you and how you grow. Needing to be right stems from insecurity, not strength. It stems from insecurity, pride, blocking growth, and harming relationships. In contrast, embracing humility is honorable. It builds trust and is profitable because it drives success. The need to be right reflects a fragile ego, not a strong ego. Letting go is what shows strengths. Needing to be right stifles learning and collaboration, while openness, collaboration, it just fosters innovation and connection. Prioritizing the truth, prioritizing relationships over ego is a win-win every single time. So with that, I'm going to do a little call to action. Next time you feel the urge to prove you're right, just pause. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? Or how can we find common ground? Or how important is this really? How important is it to my values and my beliefs? Just try that. Let me know. I would love to hear your feedback on this. Being right feels good for a moment. That's it. But being open feels better and is lasting, and it lasts forever. So guys, thanks for listening to Billy Goat Tales. Remember, every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have a live stream. And then on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitter X, we have an X space. Love to see you there. Please like, subscribe, comment. We appreciate you tuning in. Love you guys. Have a great day.
You can be tough, you can be hard. If you are not a giver, here's my card. There is only one way to win, one way to be well through loving and giving. There is nothing now